Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Potter on the Water, the channel that's all about micro cruising. In this video, we're going to be taking the smallest boats around the biggest islands. So stay tuned. Well, getting a bit of cloud cover now. Weather's getting a little bit cooler. We're getting out into some more open water here. A few more waves rolling. Still a good breeze. Must be about almost 11 o'clock now. Starting to get a little peckish. Lunchtime soon. Well, I sailed myself right into a hole there. Big dead spot, no wind. Anyway, Andrew made the right call. He went out and further north, and he's just flying. And I'm out here now too, and the wind is just beautiful. Looks like Brian and Marty and Dante are coming out this way as well now. This is what we dream about in February. Perfect days like this. Look at this. Oh. All right, so looks like we're going to head into Gore Bay tonight. We were kind of shooting for another spot a little further down, but the wind is right on our nose and the boats are just kind of slamming into the waves as we go along. So we're going to make for this stop, and then it'll make for a more reasonable day tomorrow. Still just a gorgeous day. I almost hate to go in, but if we don't stop here, the next one we won't get to until well after dark, which we don't really want to do. So we're gonna go for the safer choice here, which I think is smart. Well, it seems some unfortunate person has just made a mayday call. Their boat is taken on water, and they're making for Gore Bay. Anyway, I looked, I don't see anybody that way. Anyway, it sounds like there's some high-speed rescue boats on their way, but I don't see anything moving here at all. Back a ways. Anyway, it sounds like it's under control, but it's kind of scary for them, I'm sure. Well, we finally made it into the anchorage here. It's about 20 to 7, I guess, now by the time I got anchored and everything. And I nearly lost my hat. Damn it. Went overboard, but I didn't. So that was, you know, gotta look at the bright side, right? Now it's time for some of the chef's finest here. Ravioli. Gotta love that. I might even have some kippers to go along with this to celebrate a great day of sailing. Oh, there's nothing like it. You just live for this kind of stuff, you know. All winter long we sit and dream about this. And here we are on a perfect day. Just really good weather, good wind. It was on that nose, okay. Could have been a little bit shifted, but you know, what are you gonna do, right? We're in this lovely little cove here in a place called Gore Bay. There's a little marina just over here. And yeah, we're just swinging on the hook here. Just had some dinner, and I'm just having a coldish drink and relaxing. And I'm telling you what, it is going to be an early night tonight. We're going to get rolling tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Try and get out a little bit earlier than we did today. Today we got out pretty early, about 8:30 or so. But yeah, if we want to make the miles, we're going to have to get up and get going. So anyway, that's the plan for now, and hopefully the weather cooperates with us tomorrow as well. Alrighty, another beautiful sunny morning here. No wind today, really, but anyway, we're gonna motor on, see how we do. I think I got a little bit too much sun yesterday. Feeling a little rough this morning, so I'll have to keep an eye on it. Got to keep the drinks handy. I get lazy with drinks, and you know, I get all happy when I'm sailing, and then I don't bother to take the time to have a drink. So anyway, drink bottle's right here beside me today. Well, feeling a little better now. I had lots to drink and a little bit to eat, so things are looking good. Other than the wind, it is dead calm. So we are doing a lot of motoring here today, folks. But anyway, nice and sunny, not too hot. I got the bimini up here, and it's kind of nice because like I can angle it down at the back here, and keeps the sun from beating right in from behind when the sun is low. And up front, I've got just a nice little slot that I can look through, so it works out pretty good. Oh, and I got my nice big comfy chair here. You guys have seen my other videos, my blue chair. I got the old armchair routine here. I'm gonna have a farmer's tan on the wrong arm. Anyway, still got miles to go before we sleep, as they say, but it's been a good day so far. So seeing how this is kind of a long leg of the trip and not exactly exciting, I thought I'd do a little bit of experimentation. So I put my motor on, and then I set the speed to 4 miles an hour on my GPS, and zipped along, and the fuel lasted in it for 2 hours and 50 minutes. And this is the little 2.5 horse Yamaha. And then I refilled it, and I bumped the speed up a little bit to 5 miles an hour just to see what it would do. And it lasted for 2 hours. So I lost 50 minutes, basically, 45 to 50 minutes. Now, at first you'd think, wow, you know, that's a whole lot. But actually, when I figured it out, on a long trip like today, say it's 30 miles, it would save you about an hour and a half by the end of the day, for not a lot more fuel. When I worked it out, it was like less than a liter of fuel. Probably about a half a liter of fuel is all it would save. So you got to do the juggling act there, you know, on a day when you just want to get in and get off the water. It's a long, kind of boring haul. It might be worth an extra half a liter of fuel, right? Just to bump it up a bit and keep on going. So I know some of you guys have seen my videos before showing the bimini top, but again, I'll just give you a quick look here. It kind of angles up and then down the way I've changed it, and it gives me a really nice, almost more of a kind of a quasi-dodger kind of a thing. But it's nice at the back coming down like that. It really keeps a lot more of the rain and sun off. Now, one thing I did change, if you look over here, you'll see these have sort of solid straps with these little clips, and they hook right in into the little bolt there in that little clamp thing. But the issue that I found was they were hard to unhook because there was no play in them at all. So when you went to try to unhook the darn thing, yeah, you know, it was really difficult to get it out of the hook. So what I did was I switched the front ones over to bungees, and now I can just pull it down and unhook it from the bulkhead here. And I've just made like a loop, sort of a circle, so that they don't fall off on the actual bimini. It seems to be working really well. Now the other thing that I can do if I want is I can lower the front right down. Did you like that? Right down onto the cabin top. So if the wind is blowing or whatever, an anchor, and I want to sit back in here, I can use it sort of like a dodger. And what I do then is I take the bungee cord and I run it down to the jib cleat, and that just pulls it right down. And these back ones here, I have longer bungees that I attach from there down to there, so it allows it to flip up a little bit more. So anyway, just little improvements that I've been making as I play around with stuff. My new anchor system up front is working out pretty good. I'll do a little video on that for you as well. This anchor is one of those roll bar anchors. It's kind of a knockoff of a Rockna or a Mantis. I call it the Knockna. And I put a bow roller up there as well for the like an anchor roller. And I put where the ventilation hole was before on the boat, I turned that into a deck pipe, so then I can just drop all of the chain and line right down in where it's supposed to go more easily. Some guys do put it in through the deck pipe that's there, but I wanted a proper one that closed better. So anyway, I'll show you that as well. Alright, so we are here at Meldrum Bay. Nice little marina. Nothing too fancy, but perfect for what we need. Just got gassed up and we're all anchored. Cooking dinner. It's been a bit of a long day, to be honest. Again, not much wind until we turned into Meldrum Bay, which isn't that big. And then the wind picked right up. But of course it was right on the nose coming into the marina. So anyway. Couldn't win for losing today, but anyway, we're here now, and we're gonna have to check the weather because it looks like there might be another system coming in. Because tomorrow, if everything is good, we head out onto the south side of the island, but we've got to have the right conditions. If the wind is from the south, and especially if it's heavy, we aren't going anywhere. We got to wait until the conditions are right, because there's about, I don't know, 200 and some odd miles, whatever, of lake between between the south shore of the island and the south shore of Lake Huron. So it gets pretty rock and roll. And there's not a lot of hiding places. So we really got to pick and choose our days wisely. There are obviously some anchorages along the way, different coves, etc. But they are not abundant, right? So we're going to have to really watch what we're doing. And if things look like they're going to be a total mess, then again, we're just going to have to sit here for a while until it sorts itself out. So anyway, on to dinner. And tonight we are having a lovely bowl of rice and tuna. So let's dig into that, shall we? Well, good morning, everybody. I think it's Wednesday. I've kind of lost track here now, but we're up in Meldrum Bay, and that's at the far end of the island. So big milestone today. We're going to be going around the end of the island. So beautiful, calm night last night, just like dead still. It was awesome. We're going to get cracking here. Wind is just filled in here a little bit now, and it's going to be on the nose, of course, going out of the bay. But once we're going to round and head south. Hopefully we'll have a tailing wind there, and we can sail down to our next anchorage, which is not too far. We're going to do about only 15 miles today. Yesterday we did about 30. And anyway, there's a nice little spot there, and the weather's a little bit iffy. We're not 100% sure what's going to happen. You never are, but anyways, there's a good spot with some really good coverage for us. So
regardless of what it does, we should be covered pretty well. And then the following day, whatever day that is, I think it's Thursday, we're going to be finally heading east again. And so we're looking forward to that. So I'm gonna get cracking here, gonna get myself some breakfast going. I think it's gonna be pancakes this morning. And I think we're gonna probably leave here around, I don't know, 8:30 or a little after 8:30 actually, yeah, because the marina opens at 8:30. You can kind of see it over there. And I think Dante wants to get a bit more fuel before we go, and not in a super rush today because like I say, it's going to be a little bit of a shorter distance. But nice little anchorage here. You can have a little look around. Lots of trees. It's funny, there's a road right there, and with all the boats, the little boats here in the bay, people are driving along, and you see them stop, and they get out of their car, literally leave their car on the road, they get out of their car and they're taking pictures and everything. So it's a little bit remote here, which is kind of nice. So breakfast and coffee time. So I don't know if you can see it or not in the video, but my boat is actually anchored right over an old shipwreck here. If you look right down in there, you can see there's a rib going that way, and then there's other boards going that way. Anyway, kind of cool. Straight down here, you can see there's big ribs there, and big hardware, big bolts or something that used to hold it all together. Now we're gonna turn this into that. I wish I had some raspberries. This is a pretty good mix. I've had this one before, and now we're gonna give it a try. All you do is just add water to this, which is nice, right? You don't have to add eggs or milk or anything like that, so it's good on the boat. All right, let's get the pan going here. Look at that, just like the picture. It's like a restaurant here. Well, despite the look of those pancakes, they were actually really tasty. So I'll have to try that again. I brought a box full of it here, so we'll give it another whirl. I think I might have to get a different pan because that one, lots of stuff seems to stick to it, but I don't know. Who knows, right? Poor carpenter blames his hammer, but pretty tasty. I think I'm gonna have myself a little bit more coffee here. Yummy. And we're really not in a big panic today, which is kind of nice. We're just all taking it easy this morning. Yeah, hopefully we get a little bit of wind. So anyway, let's see how it goes. All right, so to avoid getting dehydrated again, I'm gonna make sure I got lots of water. So I got my little filter here. I just put the hose over the side, and I start a pump just like that. And that filters the water. It's one nice thing about sailing in fresh water, and pretty clean water as well, right? When we were kids growing up, we used to just drink the water right out of the lake. But anyway, now they kind of say, oh, you should probably filter it. Even that, there's still some viruses and things that these filters won't catch, but it's pretty rare. So this saves me carrying like a whole case of water with me, which is what I used to do on my bigger boats. I'd just stop by the grocery store and buy a case of water, and it cuts down on all the plastic as well from those plastic water bottles, and I just reuse these. So this is good for my cooking and good for my drinking as well. And that's it. And then we just unscrew the filter and put the lid back on, and we're good to go. And I'll make sure I got one of these in the cockpit with me all the time. Part of the challenge I find with the small boat is that you've got enough room for everything, but it's just getting to everything when you want it. And if it's not convenient, sometimes you let it slide. Oh, I don't really need to go all the way to the bow to get that, you know, whatever it is, and then you don't bother. So organization is a pretty key component of cruising like this, and I'm still working on it. So anyway, we'll get there. And we are underway. Nice light breeze here today. Just enough to hear those waves
chuckling along the hull. I don't know if you can see Dante in the background there. He's getting his sails hoisted. And I think Andrew's off at the back there. He's just getting set up. Brian's up front with Marty. There's Brian way up in the distance. And Marty's motoring around the point. There we go. Nice little breeze here. Kind of gray, but wind is pretty steady. Just bopping along, doing about 3-4 knots, something like that. Wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of rain here by the feel of things. This is what it's all about. Alright, now we got the jib pulled out here. Wind is dead downwind. What there is of it. It's not too heavy. I'd like a little more wind here. I don't know how I'm supposed to wear a frickin' plaid flannel shirt in this kind of breeze. Somebody wasn't thinking. Alright, so speaking of drinks, I got my water, and so this time I'm trying some of these flavor things. And basically they're just little crystals and you just put them in. Or I have this one is just like a little juice drop kind of a thing, and you just squirt some of that in and it gives you some flavor. So when you're jammed for space, these kinds of things are kind of nice because it gives you a little bit of variety without having to carry cans of lemonade or orange juice or whatever. You can just drop this into the filtered water that you filter right out of the lake. So this one that I'm trying today is pink lemonade, and my daughter gave me this one, and it's got electrolytes in it. So obviously that's a good thing if you're out in the hot sun a lot. So she said, here, try these. So actually I just mixed it up, and it's actually pretty tasty. So I've also got iced tea there and an orange one with electrolytes as well. So I'm just like the old astronauts, me and my Tang. Remember that? It's just beautiful here. No houses, no cottages, no noises. Ryan certainly found his point of wind, and that is downwind. He was just flying here. He took off way ahead of the fleet. He had to turn back and wait for us. All right, there we go. We got the pole jibed. Ryan is just here beside me now. Matching up the speed pretty closely. That big mainsail of his is nice. You just flip it out there on the downwind and the wind can catch it all. There's no need for an extra whisker pole or anything. It actually does pretty well upwind too, that boat, surprisingly. That wind shifted around about 90 degrees and we were dead downwind, and now we're on a close reach. And anyway, you can see the fleet here spread out a little bit. Kind of a gray day, but nice temperatures and not scorching hot, so I'll take it. So a little bit more about this little adventure that we're on. This was set up to be kind of a small boat challenge. So you look at the cost of this, and the idea is that you don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars or go on round the world kind of things in order to get adventure, right? This boat cost me less than, I don't know, I think it was $1,700 US when I bought it in the States from a real nice guy. He was the original owner down in New York State. And beyond that, I bought a new motor for it, newish. But again, I've probably spent, I don't know, $2,500 just on this boat, and the trailer and the whole shebang. So you can have a lot of adventure without going too crazy, right? It's just adjusting what the adventure is to what you've got available. And that's really what this whole event is about. So anyways, it's great because some of the guys that we've been sailing with for years are with us here on this little challenge. And Andrew's here with us as well, new guy, great sailor, really keen. Lots of fun so far. And we're almost at our stop here for the day. We're having a shorter day today. And we're gonna grab a bite to eat. So sometimes what we do is we just stop along the way, kind of heave to and just chat from boat to boat and have a lunch. And that's what we're doing now. Just kind of yapping away, munching on a sandwich, and then we'll continue on. The wind has been kind of weird today. It goes from nothing to like maybe 8 knots, and then it switches direction again. It's just been strange. So lunchtime. All right, we're heading into our little anchorage here. It's a new place for us. And some pretty shallow spots in here. But anyway, we'll give it a whirl. I see like a trawler in there. I'm wondering how that guy got in there. Well, we'll have to take a look. All right, so here's our anchorage. It's kind of the last stop. This is on Coburn Island. And from here we're going to be heading east. So that's as much westering as we're going to do. But what a nice little spot. There's even a trawler in here. It looked on the chart like it was really shallow, but there's a channel that goes right down the center. So I guess that's how he got in here. But yeah, real nice. Little rocky beach. Perfect for getting the dog up there if you need to let the dog do her business. So Andrew just found a cool old, looks like it's a piece off of a sawmill or something under the water. And that's one of the cool things up here is you find all these old abandoned like little ghost towns and old villages and stuff that are basically abandoned. But you find old machinery and old big saw blades and all kinds of stuff. Sometimes in the water, sometimes back in the bush. We were on a trip a couple of years ago, and we were going along down this little river. And there used to be a big town there, like with a couple thousand people. That was a big sawmill, basically, and but it was all gone. Like it was, you know, if you just took your boat in and you didn't know anything about it, you'd just go right by it. Well, while we're going along, Brian had done all the research on it, and you could see old stone buildings in the back in the trees, and there was trees growing like through the buildings. So it was really cool. Anyway, and we found like old steam engine parts, like the big boilers and stuff, and all kinds of cool stuff. And you'd see on the rocks, on the big huge rocks along the shore, there would be these big iron rings, huge iron rings that they used to tie the ships up to. And anyways, it's kind of cool to see. Dinner time. Yes, it's the famous Kelly special craft dinner and kippered sardines. Good. Well, it's evening and it's cooling off a little bit, so we're going to have some tea. Roger Barnes would be very proud of me. And, as he says, what's the point of having tea if you don't have biscuits? So we have biscuits as well. Well, good morning, everyone. Here we are, another beautiful day. You can see the mist over there on the water as the sun has come up just a little while ago. It's just about 6 o'clock here right now. And it is breakfast time. So I got the coffee going. That's the little hiss you can hear in the background. The kettle here. We're going to make ourselves some toast. And we've got an early start today. We're going to be rolling by about 8 o'clock. We're heading for a place called Meldrum Bay. So hopefully we don't live the name. Apparently the name was
came up years ago. I think back in the 1800s. Brian looked it up, and it's there was a farmer in this bay, and he was cutting grass for his livestock because he'd run out of hay. And as he was in there, and the flies were bugging him, and it was hot, and he was sweating, and he was in misery, a boat came up and said to him, "Hey, what's this place called?" And the farmer yelled back, "I'm in misery." And what he didn't realize was that the guy in the boat that was asking the question was from the government, and they were actually doing the surveying for the area. So anyway, they wrote Misery Bay down for that spot on their chart. So we're heading there today, and it's about a 25-mile hike. So yeah, we're gonna have to get moving because at 4 miles an hour, that's a full day. Right, so, and depending on what the wind's doing here, so we're hoping for a bit of wind from the west today. And anyway, we'll see. It hasn't filled in yet, so gonna get some breakfast happening first. I slept like a log last night. I didn't wake up once. It was awesome. I went to sleep probably at about 9 o'clock, and I just woke up now. So anyway, great night. Well, we are slowly picking our way out of the little cove here. And it's got to be watching a little bit in here because it's pretty shallow. Looks like no wind so far, but there's a weird cloud bank off to the south, so they're calling for a little bit of wind. So we've got our fingers crossed here. And here's what it looks like. See that weird little cloud bank off to the south there. Island down there. I think that's Magnetic Island. And this was Coburn Island where we stayed last night. And if you have a look straight across there, you can see Manitoulin again. The water here is so beautiful. I don't know if you can see it or not, but you can see bottom. It's probably, I don't know, 10 or 15 feet deep. And it's just so clear. Big rocks here. Very cool. All right, nice little breeze has filled in here now. We just checked out Green Island, and I think it's called Stevens Island, for next year, just as another anchorage opportunity. And it looks pretty good. Pretty good coverage if there's a south wind. Actually, you could get in there on either side of Stevens Island, and between the two islands there's pretty good coverage all around. So that'll be another good one for next year, depending on if we want to stop there or not. Now we're heading across to Misery Bay, as I mentioned, and we're going to be going by Burnt Harbor, I think it's called, as well. So we'll have a little look at that as we swing by. Just look at this day. Well, all of a sudden this fog closed in on us. And I can't see a freaking thing. Can't see shore anywhere. Anyway, I got my compass bearing here and I got my GPS, so all good. But it was just beautiful and sunny here. And then all of a sudden the fog bank just rolled in. I could see it coming from behind me. And I was looking back and I lost Andrew completely. He was a little bit behind. He was messing around with his rudder. I guess he couldn't keep his rudder down. He was having a little issue with it, so he spent some time just sorting that out. Looks like Dante and Brian stopped at Burnt Island Harbor, maybe to let the dog out for a minute or two and maybe have some lunch. But I decided I'd keep going. Marty motored today. He's up ahead.
a ways, so I should be able to just keep rolling here and yeah, have some lunch on the go. We just passed over Thibault Shoal, and it goes from about 80 feet to like 4.5, like just boom, all of a sudden, and then it's gone again. Man, I don't know how these guys would have come through here in ships. It's not a wonder there are so many shipwrecks in the Great Lakes, because before this was all sounded and everything, I don't know how those guys would do it. Just amazing. Anyway, still can't see anything here, so I'm just kind of steering off my compass. 90 degrees is the course. So, well, after about 4 hours, land frickin' ho. I can actually see the land. There's a building over there of some sort. I've been pointing straight for this point of land here, and then I can follow it around into the bay. All right, so we're heading into the bay here now, and if you look closely, you can see the shadow of the boat on the bottom. That's how clear the water is. Oh, what a fabulous day. We got into the nice little cove here. Marty's already here. We just had a little chat, and I'm thinking about some dinner. You can see Andrew there. He just came swinging through. And I think Brian's on his way around the corner here now as well. That was another fabulous day of sailing. We did probably about 30 miles today, I guess, something like that, 25, 30 miles. And yeah, just nice sunshine. And then we ended up with that weird fog for a few hours as well. It was really strange. I couldn't see a thing anywhere. And I ended up just coming straight in towards the shore. Once I got close, I was just on the GPS and steering my course on my compass. And then all of a sudden, poof, the shore just appeared all of a sudden. So anyway, it's clearing up here now, so the fog is pretty much burned off, which is nice. And we're hoping for a nice southwest wind again tomorrow. From here tomorrow, we're going to head over to a place called Providence Bay, so from Misery to Providence. And that'll be about the same sort of distance as we did today. So anyway, thinking about some dinner here. It's getting close to dinner time, and I gotta see what I can wrestle up. Got some ham and fried potatoes tonight. Good. Check out that moon. It's orange.